Welcome to that 80s show. Insert clever comment here. Dori, how are you?
I don't have a clever comment, but I'm good.
Dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
I will comment on your cap that you're wearing. And you're wearing it backwards to look extra cool.
Because the better part is on the back. It's a gift from my father-in-law.
Oh.
But do tell.
It says Top Gun.
Top Gun cap.
It's got like the wingy things.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
So what's on the front? Turn around.
It's a Top Gun adjacent. This is me turning around to show Dori.
Okay, hold on. Oh, it says Top Gun on the front as well.
It says Top Gun, but I don't think that's a Top Gun logo.
No, it doesn't look right. The one on the back looks correct.
So you got to wear it backwards. But also then you like wearing it, and this is what Top Gun dudes look like.
Yeah, because they wear their hats backwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is me. Thanks for recognizing my cap. Game recognizes game, as the kids say. I just recognize Isotonic Game, which was the deliciously refreshing drink we had as children in the 80s and would buy it from the game store. Remember,
I mean, it's the same thing, isn't it? Or is the logo is the same? Was it not? Is it not the same brand company?
Hold on.
Okay,
Whoa, music down.
Yeah,
hold on a second. Have we just uncovered something? I don't think Isotonic Game, the premixed drink, was from the store game.
I feel like the logos were the same though, but maybe I'm remembering wrong.
Because the game logo is and always has been pink. Even in the 80s, it was pink.
But I'm talking about the font. Now you're going to have to search the actual drink.
I'm Googling it now, Game Isotonic Drink. Now, I'm seeing the new ones.
You see, it's changed. You need to go 1980s.
So 80s style. Now, play along with us. Play along with us and check out on your computer. And the game logo, it's orange. Yeah,
but isn't the font similar? No. Oh, then I'm remembering wrong. No, don't mind me. Let's just edit this part out.
No, this was investigative. People wonder these things, Dori.
Do they?
No, they do because it could be because it looks like, remember Dion?
Yes.
And Dion had the orange logo.
Right. Maybe that's what I'm confused with.
Maybe that's what you're confusing. But listen, Dori, that was a great save to the beginning of the show.
Okay.
Because now we're going have we uncovered something? Is the game store linked to Game Isotonic refreshing beverages? It could have been, Dori. We have not solved it.
Why there's not a Dion Isotonic refreshing beverage?
Why there's not a Dion anymore?
Yeah, full stop.
If you're a Dion, let us know. But the Dion stores, I loved going to a Dion.
Me too.
I love those stores that's got everything.
Yeah.
What's a name I remember the other day? I was at Santon, and they've got this really nice wall of remembrance. I don't know, wall of remembrance, but kind of tracking the history of Santon City. Yeah. They're 50 years old.
Oh, wow.
And then, of course, I go straight to the 80s part.
Of course.
And I remember going to Santon when it looked like that.
Yes,
right?
Me too. Just go there a lot.
And remember the store, John Orrs.
Oh,
it said,
dude,
they had John Orrs. I was like, oh my God, John Orrs is a department store.
Yeah.
But fancy, and it had everything.
I can beat you on that one.
Oh, let's go.
It might have been late 70s. But as a child, my mother and my aunt used to take me to Greatermans in this Joburg CBD.
Jeez.
Greatermans.
1,000 points for Greatermans. 10,000 points for going to the one in Joburg CBD.
And all I remember is there was this long escalator to get to it.
Yes.
Very long escalator.
Yes.
And there was also a really cool restaurant, which was very brown.
Oh, it's 80s.
I know, very brown. I remember the restaurant being very brown, but I remember enjoying going to the restaurant. And the whole shop was very beige.
Yeah. That sounds right. Yeah. With that kind of horrible vinyl around the pillars that know are still there but peeled the shit out. Because Greatermans was also a department store.
Greatermans and John Orrs were almost the same thing. Yeah.
And you could get international brands.
Yeah.
Like Paulo.
Yeah.
Wow. Jeez, that is fantastic. That is fantastic memory laning.
Yes.
Memory escalating even.
Yes.
That
escalated fast.
That was... That was like an airport level escalator. Yeah. That's how long it was.
Crazy.
And just as I remember going up and as the store emerged.
Yes.
Wow.
And what I remember is they had one of the, oh my God, I don't know how to describe it. One of those lamp things, but it looked like it was water coming down, but it's not. It's just it looks like a little water thing going around it.
Yeah.
That's what I remember. It's like a very, very core childhood memory.
Oh my God, that was the height of 80s luxury. Because obviously we'd see it.
Yeah.
Greatermans has it. They have it in Dynasty at the Le Mirage nightclub. I remember somebody we went to, probably the richest person we knew growing up, had it in their house, in their entrance. That's when you knew you went to a fancy house.
Yep.
They had remember there was the other one that had you see them now like the cheap China Mall stores, but they were very glamorous in the 80s. That was like a palm tree with lights.
Yes.
The little lights. Wow.
Everything
what
was
am I
beige
seeing?
and green. Beige and green.
Yeah. Now they're rainbow colored, but no, that's kitsch.
Yeah.
Beige and green. Wow.
Beige and green everywhere.
How rich are these people? So actually, inadvertently, we kind of stumbled onto what I want to talk about to open the show with today. I'll end with it. I'm trying to find a segue, trying to find a link here. So last week, we opened up the show with a very middle-aged conversation talking about flies. Too many flies in Johannesburg.
Yeah.
And we're wondering about Louis the Fly.
Yeah.
So follower on the Facebook page, that 80 Show essay on Facebook, Daniel Groenewald. Good, very engaged, top fan. He says that Louis the Fly did have a song and that his girlfriend used to sing it to him off by heart.
Okay.
I was like, okay, I gotta go find this. So I trawled the internet, I hunted it. I'm gonna play it for you. It comes from the Morten Australia YouTube channel. Okay. But I'm pretty sure it's the one we had here because you can't make out the accents.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, is it in an Australian accent?
It's very neutral.
Okay.
But this is definitely the song that they played when we were listening out for Louis the Fly. Is this the same one we had here?
Louis the Fly, I'm Louis the Fly, straight from rubbish tip to you. I'm better and meaner, mighty uncleaner, the nastiest guy that you've ever seen. Only one thing I really hate seeing is Mum with the dreaded can of 14.
Bye-bye, Louis.
To Louis the Fly, say bye-bye to Louis the Fly. One stray of 14 and you'll never be seen. It's the end for Louis the Fly. 14.
When you're on a 14, stick to it.
That is very familiar.
It's a bye-bye to Louis the Fly. Bye-bye.
Yes.
They definitely used that. If it wasn't that ad, they did the South African version of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's Louis the Fly. I mean, that ad, he's a little animated character.
Yes.
He comes out of the bin,
well.
and it was fantastic because we're all like, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, seeing cartoons in the real world, it was all the rage, and he was crawling on the baby. He jumped in the baby's food. Disgusting.
And then the mom comes and sprays the baby.
She, listen, with the amount of hairspray that woman has in her hair, okay, that she grabbed the Morten rather than the hairspray. That woman's hair is huge. Huge. But then, I have a problem. So that's Louis the Fly. That 80 Show Essay Facebook page will pop it up there. Once you go down a rabbit hole, the algorithm goes, you want 80s ads.
Oh.
My friend, you are getting 80s ads. Now, I thought, okay, listen, we're an audio-only podcast. Should I find the radio ads of these? The radio ads have all disappeared over the years.
Okay.
But I got the TV ads. And I think the TV ads we remember more.
Yeah.
Because radio wasn't a shared experience. We were all watching TV at the same time.
Yes.
All right. This one was actually cousin Louis. Send me this one.
Not Louis the Fly.
Not Louis the Fly. Trust, he did have people singing Bye-Bye Louis the Fly to him. No doubt I've picked at that little scab of childhood trauma, although I very much doubt he was ever bullied a day in his life. Here is an ad from Twin Saver. Okay, Forget Me Nots.
Okay, I think I can already kind of remember it.
When jingles were all the rage, I love the open line. Listen very closely.
When you see a sad show and you need a good blow, forget me not Twin Savers. When after the flicks he gets up to his tricks, forget me not Twin Savers. When he gives you some flowers and you're sneezing for hours, forget me not Twin Savers. And you wave him goodbye with a tear in your eye, forget me not Twin Savers. See, it's no crying shame to remember that name, forget me not Twin Savers. Also in toilet rolls.
When you've been to a show and need a good blow, forget me not Twin Savers.
Now,
I want to go to that show.
Was this an accident by the copywriters, or was this a little, let's see if we can push this through?
Because listen, you and I have both been, I've been in the ad industry, you've been ad industry adjacent. We know a lot of people in the ad industry. We know a lot of people in the ad industry in the 80s specifically.
Yes.
That was definitely placed there on purpose. There was no, and they were like, we're getting past this. Hey, SABC censorship board, up yours. We're insinuating fellatio.
And if I remember correctly, it's like an animated tissue thing, the ad.
This one is all real people. So it's a lot of very 80s. It's the same 80s looking couple.
Okay.
A boyfriend and a girlfriend. So then they've been to a show. She's given him a blow. Then he tries to give her a kiss, which she does. She pretends to sneeze that she's sick. She can't kiss.
Right.
Then he's given her some flower. Like, I actually now think about this relationship's fucked.
Yeah.
Because
not good.
He's trying to get.
I mean, except for the blow part.
No, but actually, this is why it was definitely planted. That part, they're at a drive-in.
Oh,
they're not in the
on.
theater. They're actually in a car at the drive-in. So he's trying to get stuff out of her. He's trying to force kisses. He's giving her flowers that she's obviously allergic to. And then in the end scene, she's seeing him off on a train. And she's like, oh, well, fuck this guy, good riddance. And another man comes and gives her a toilet roll. I mean, I don't quite know how to. 80s. Don't try to explain it.
Don't try and explain it. Trust me.
I then find an old classic. Now, I'm a fan of so much in this. I loved the product. If I could have eaten the product every day of my life, I would have. I loved the ad, and I loved the two main actors in the ad. The one I actually still see him at gyms sometimes. He's still cruising around.
Okay.
Just listening to this is going to make me so hungry. It'll make you hungry as well.
Didn't you tell me there was cheese with these new Steakhouse melts? Lekker cheese with pure ground beef. Check, no cheese, China.
In the center, Mr. Fender.
Steakhouse melts from I&J in cheese and new mushroom.
I knew that was the ad you were going to
Paul
play.
Slabelewski and Bill Flynn in the center, Mr. Fenter.
I know which one you see at gym because one of them is no longer with us. If you see Bill Flynn at gym, your gym is haunted.
I see Paul Slabelewski all the time. I wish I could say his name properly.
He is so cool. I met
really
him
cool.
last year because I arranged him for an interview at my job. And I actually was so excited to meet him. I remember well, and I'm sure I've mentioned this on the show, but I remember well there was that South African series on TV in the 80s called the 1820 Settlers.
Okay.
It was actually a really good series, but it was literally the Afrikaans settlers or whatever, the white settlers who came and colonized.
Was it set in the 1800s?
Yeah, it was set in the 1820s. Okay. And I remember Paul Slabelewski, the one scene, it traumatized my whole...
No, say his name. You can't.
Slabelewski.
Okay.
It is Slabelewski.
I know. So somebody told me that when you have to say a name, treat it like a speed bump. If you go slowly, you're going to fuck out. Just go through a difficult name quickly.
I verified how to say it because I had to, because I arranged it for an interview. It is Slabelewski. It's don't put a K in there. There's no K.
Because you want to. Slabelewski.
Yeah.
Okay, Paul Slabelewski. Okay.
Yeah. And... I said to him, you traumatized my childhood. And he was like, what? I said, I remember in the 1820 settlers, something happened. And of course, it was the 1800s. Modern medicine was not a thing.
Right.
Something happened to him and he had to have his leg amputated. And it was so graphic the way it was shown on the show. And I'll never forget it. It literally traumatized my childhood. Great show, though.
So traumatized. I mean, was that the season, the end of the show? Because did he come back the next with the leg?
He came back without the leg.
Really?
Yeah, they had him on like those old-timey crutches.
Fantastic actor.
It was very well done.
Fantastic actor. Was it a comedy or just
not at
real
all?
Series?
Not at all a comedy. It was a drama.
I loved the two of them. They're not for everyone.
They were great.
Heel against the head.
That's a sport thing. So yeah.
God no, it's set. It's the two of them. Their characters were Chalky and Crispin.
Yeah. And
there were these two guys live out in the Dorpies, and now they get a chance to go to what would have been the 1999 Rugby World Cup in Wales. And the two of them go, and the one, I think Paul's character has to lie to his wife of where he's gone because he just wants to go out and just shag everybody. And it's just shenanigans. It is There's a lot of like very off color. I mean, just things that wouldn't stand today. I think because, I mean, for that reason, it's not on a lot of streaming platforms at all.
Yeah, I'm sure.
My God, I loved the two of them.
But if you want to see a great movie that he did, only a few years ago, 2020, he did a movie called Mr. Johnson.
Okay.
It's such a great film.
He's very active in theatre. We're talking about theatre.
He is. But this movie, I think it was on Showmax, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic movie. I'll give you the basic storyline so that to entice you to watch it because it's so good. A man who's been in a coma since his 20s, but now he's in his 60s, wakes up.
Wow. And he's the guy.
He's the guy. It's such a good movie.
Amazing.
Mr. Johnson, go watch that.
Listen, in Heel Against the Head, Mr. Johnson was a completely different reference. I'll tell you that right now. Let's
also watch Heel Against the Head.
Please watch Heel Against the Head. You see Mans. Fuck. Funny. Just funny. Let's have a moment to talk about I&J Steakhouse melts. Did you ever have them?
I did.
I'm in my 40s. I have fantastic cholesterol. Every time I go do a test, they actually comment on how, wow, your cholesterol is phenomenal for your age.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I also have good cholesterol.
Yeah. They always comment on it. And I'm surprised because I ate a lot of these when I was a kid.
Really, eh?
I fucking
You lived on in the center, Mr. Fenter.
Oh my God. And if I think about, you're very conscious of your diet now. And if I think like that, there was no way that was cheese. I very much doubt it was beef.
It wasn't either.
It was 4% beef.
Yeah. No, it was something synthetic all round.
It's so delicious.
Very delicious. I can taste. You're making me drool.
My
I can
God,
taste
when you
it now.
cut it and just all the cheese is just all over the plate. So satisfying.
Next time you see Paul Slab, as we call him, at gym, you need to tell him to listen to this podcast. And you need to tell him about the cheese.
I need to say, can you just say in the center, Mr. Fenter? Even though he didn't say it. I think he was the Mr. Fenter.
Yeah, I can't remember who said it actually.
I literally watched the ad, didn't pay attention. But of course you didn't either because we're only playing the audio. The audio. Then why this link worked quite nicely is because we started talking about John Orr, Greatermans. Shout out to Stutterfords.
Yeah, they tried.
They did try. They came, but shout out. They lasted the longest. There was still Stutterfords until a few years ago.
Okay.
I remember one they had, it's probably early working days. They had a stupid closing down sale where you were buying like, at the time, Calvin Klein and Tommy Hilfiger t-shirts for like 20 Rand.
Man.
It was just everything must go type of thing. And I was like, this is fantastic. Of course, if we're talking iconic stores, there is only one iconic store ad of one iconic lady with one iconic hairdo.
Does it begin with an M and end with an S?
From Morkels, not only because I found what I wanted, but Morkels guarantees everything for a full 2 years, so they're obviously pretty confident about quality. Buy this 220-litre fridge freezer for only $8.99, a 225-litre chest freezer for only $5.49, this 5-kilogram twin-tub washing machine for only $7.99, and this 5-kilogram automatic for only $8.99. Morkels, your 2-year guarantee store.
Trudy Taljaard. That's the Morkels lady.
Okay, I never knew her name.
Yeah, well, I just saw it here now. I think she changed.
Was that R5.99?
No, hundreds. Yeah, hundreds. Oh, jeez. Because I think this was later. This could have been.
Could have been 90s because those prices are not 80s prices.
They're not 80s prices. No. But listen, they got a 2-year guarantee. They're not giving you that for free. They're loading that.
Of course they are.
You know what I mean?
Did anyone ever use the 2-year guarantee?
I doubt you would have had to. Yeah. Because things were made properly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now they're giving you 1 year. And if you're lucky.
3 months.
Back then, they're going, hey, listen, I'm telling you, people bought that fridge and still have that fridge.
Oh, yeah.
And that fridge is still working. And they swear by that fridge. Mm-hmm. It's maybe the bar fridge. It's maybe in the spare room. Or it's at the holiday home. They still have that fridge. I guarantee it.
Yep.
They still have a fridge. She still has that hair. I don't want to be crass to her family. Rest in peace. If we had to exhume her body, hair would still be in place.
Yep.
And she'd probably be sitting in that pose. Remember, she sat on that chair.
Yes.
It's like, fuck, I'm sitting in a store.
Do I remember correctly? Blue dress?
Dori, you remember fantastically. Can't remember what she had for breakfast. Remembers that Trudy Taljaard was wearing a blue dress. And I think it was all at the same intro and they changed the specials.
Yes.
Fuck, we just don't. At Morkels. Shout out to another great store.
I never went into a Morkels.
I just like, honest to God, as a kid, I just go in there looking for her. I was like, where's Trudy? Like, where is
You didn't know her name until right now.
Well, where's Tannie?
Where's the Tannie?
Vasti Tannie. And then like, I want to get the deals. I want that guarantee from her. And we just don't have enough. And again, shouting out to Morkels, but shout out to Bears. Bears are still around.
I know.
Those motherfuckers are resilient.
What about Joshua Dorr?
Joshua Dorr's still around.
Huh?
Joshua, not as much. I think the uncle has because the uncle had a little bit of like, kind of looked like a little bit of butter. He had a bit of that.
Oh. Surely the uncle needs to be black now. Let's be honest.
I think the uncle is like kind of like there's no uncle.
Yeah, no more uncle. Because uncles are generally creepy.
That's quite true.
Sorry, but
He's actually still there.
Oh, on the logo.
What am I looking?
You're looking at an old logo, maybe.
No, I googled them. Yeah, it could be. So
I mean, it really is his name, so it is him, right? This is a real person.
So when you Google Joshua Dorr, it gives you Russells. Maybe that was his name.
No,
Joshua Russell Dorr. Because then there's a Joshua Dorr catalog from 2025. All Joshua Dorr shops. No, it's Russell's Joshua Dorr, and he's still there.
I think they merged. Russell's was its own thing, and then they merged.
Yeah, he's still there. He's sitting on his little couch there. Still a white man. Still a white man sitting
on the lazy boy. Wasn't it a lazy boy?
He's sitting on a lazy boy. Joshua Dorr is not South African.
Oh.
Remember I told the story way back on that 80s show. We uncovered the story about there was a murder. And it was actually the man who founded Joshua Dorr. They killed him and put him in the boot. Then I made the very colorful joke, you got an uncle in the boot of your car, Joshua Dorr.
You mean off-color joke, but yes.
Well, who knows? I don't even know what I said there. Anyway, that's a nice fantastic. We just went into the Carlton Centre and took a little bit of a walk around all the stores that were there.
What fun.
How high on your list of 80s movie genre would you rank dance movies?
It depends. You see, ordinarily I wouldn't say very high, but girls just want to have fun. A dance movie.
So I've got a list for you.
Okay.
And after I name some of the movies on this list, okay.
You're going to remind me because there's Flashdance, there's Footloose.
So starting in 1980 with
Fame.
We got Xanadu.
Sure. Xanadu, of course.
We got Xanadu. Of course, Olivia Newton-John was a muse. A roller skating muse.
An intergalactic roller skating muse.
Yeah. So it was a fantastic soundtrack. So good dancing movie. I love this one, Breakin'. All about breakdancing.
Oh.
Street battles, breakdancing.
I've still got that on vinyl.
Oh, fantastic. Good dance movie.
Yes.
Staying Alive. The sequel to Saturday Night Fever.
Yes.
If you like it for one reason only, like it for how shiny John Travolta is. So shiny. Love that movie. Dare I say I liked it more than Saturday Night Fever?
I don't remember them. I've seen them, but long ago.
Staying Alive is kind of male Flashdance.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he has to dance to stay alive.
Because it was the 80s, we have Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Oh.
Probably the best name of anything ever.
Very cool.
Good dance movie. Do you remember this one, White Nights?
Of course, with the ballet.
It was with
Gregory Hines
and Mikhail Baryshnikov.
You said that so well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fucking
very serious movie though.
I'm shocked about how well I said Mikhail Baryshnikov.
That is impressive. Very serious movie about what's the word?
Cold War.
When you defect. Defecting from Russia.
Because Mikhail Baryshnikov, he was actually a real ballet dancer.
Yes.
And then he defected from Russia and joined. And then there was, they were after KGB, were after him, trying to take him back, isn't it?
And there was it Say You, Say Me by Lionel Richie, the
Dori?
big song from that movie.
Fantastic. That's one of the things they did. First line says, featuring award-winning songs, You Say Me, Say You Say Me, Say You Say Me, and Separate Lives by Phil Collins.
Oh.
Of course, by Phil Collins, because 90% of all songs played in the 80s was by Phil Collins.
Correct.
I really wanted to do it as my movie recommendation, but I'm not the hugest fan of musicals. This movie, called Voyage of the Rock Aliens, okay? Which, I mean, I already
that sounds like a movie that you should do.
Aliens, tentacled monsters, and rock and roll.
It sounds like your kind of movie.
I still want to do it. A group of aliens land on Earth in a guitar-shaped spaceship in search of rock and roll, and naturally they find it at a local high school. The alien leader, ABCD, falls head over heels in love with Dee Dee, but Dee Dee's rocker boyfriend, Frankie, won't stand for his interstellar shenanigans. It even has shenanigans. This musical B-spoof is hilariously and delightfully absurd, featuring tons of 80s fashion and rocking 80s music.
And a no-name cast, I'm assuming.
Oh, starring such luminaries as Craig Sheffer.
Oh, I know him.
Ruth Gordon.
Not sure.
And Dee Dee, played by Pia Zadora. I mean, why did I not watch this movie?
Holy moly. Craig
Aliens,
Sheffer, you'll know
monsters.
when you see him.
He's
the bad guy in Some Kind of Wonderful.
He's the bad guy in this. I recognized him from that. Yeah,
Some bad guy in Some Kind of Wonderful as well.
I watched the trailer. Oh, Pia Zadora. Shit, I should have. Grease 2.
I liked Grease 2.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
And the Pink Ladies. I'm sure I've told this story on the show before. I had a pink tracksuit. I literally wrote a thing that said Pink Ladies in Cokie on paper and stuck it on the tracksuit.
That's great.
I was such a fan.
I made myself a fake Nike jacket in a very similar way.
And I had the soundtrack on cassette, and I used to listen to it on my yellow Walkman all the time.
Do you see that it pops up on my feeds every now and again? That goes like, because obviously Grease, the first Grease was, and they were supposed to be teenagers.
Yes, and they were so old.
And it shows how old, like, they're like, you know, we know in movies and TV shows, teenagers are not the age. Grease really were taking the piss.
Yeah. No, really.
I mean, those people had mortgages.
It was ridiculous.
Second mortgages and chronic illness and inflammation. Flashdance.
Of course.
It's only number 13 on this list.
It's not a great movie. It isn't. It has great scenes and
It has
great
Jennifer
music
Beals.
and a great cast, but it's not a great story.
Higher than Flashdance is Tap. Gregory Hines again.
Oh, that was good. I remember that. Yeah.
Not a defector this time. No Russians. There was a dance studio in the inner city.
Yes, I remember Tap. I saw it.
Yeah. Of course, when I said dance movies, you like it. Girls just want to have fun. Dance movie. Of course.
Great movie.
Good call. This movie, Beat Street, a celebration of 80s hip-hop culture. I don't remember it.
Yes, Beat Street was at the same time as like all the breakdance movies. Beat Street, I remember that.
Group of friends living in the Bronx. They each pursue their own artistic dreams. They face a set of personal challenges. And there's obviously a dance-off.
It's
okay.
very breakdancey as well.
Really?
It was very good.
Need to check that out. This one looks like a musical chorus line.
Yeah.
Starring Michael Douglas.
Yeah, I don't think that was my thing.
Not into
I don't
that.
think I watched that actually.
He has a movie. This is the crazy thing because you start to get movies I don't know about where, like, we've heard all the movies I know about. This film, Fast Forward, featured a kicking 80s soundtrack. A teenage dance crew from Ohio travels to New York City to get their big break, but they soon realize that New York City is more than they realize. Starring Don Franklin, Tamara Mark, Tracy Silver, John Scott, Clough. Don't know. Footloose, dance movie.
Terrible story, great movie.
Ginger and Fred.
That would be about Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire.
It was actually once famously the subject of a lawsuit brought on by Ginger Rogers. It's actually an Italian dance film, yes, based on their lives. Fame.
Great.
I mean, really?
Can't go wrong with Fame.
Ooh, here's another one. Disco Dancer from 1982, a Bollywood movie. 80s Bollywood, you have me there. Ooh, Dori, here's a movie, a Spanish dance film called Blood Wedding. Ooh, a troupe of dancers performing in a play called Blood Wedding. Okay. Dirty Dancing, number 2.
Only number 2. What could be number 1? Wait, what haven't we had?
Hairspray.
Oh, no, Dirty Dancing should be number 1.
Flashdance should be number 1. But anyway, Electric Boogaloo 2, or Electric Boogaloo should be number 1 or 2 or whatever it is. But dance movies, we love them. Let's be honest about it.
It's a good list.
How high up in genres is it now? Has it moved to top 3 at least?
No.
Still not. Okay.
Maybe top 5.
Okay. We'll work on it. So obviously, we're talking about movies. I'm going to carry on talking about movies every week. Dori and I get an 80s related multimedia recommendation to talk
didn't even realize that this was a thing in the 80s because I watched the remake that came out in the late 90s on TV, thinking that that was the original.
Okay.
For some reason, it popped into my head this week, and I thought, let me just look at that because I wasn't sure when it was from. And then I saw that it was based on a series that originally came out actually in 1978, but ran until 1983.
Mm-hmm.
I then went to YouTube and found pretty much every episode from that original series. And last night, I watched one. I am talking about a series called Fantasy Island.
Zipline.
Okay, so you know it. You've watched it.
I fucking loved it. What was his name?
Tattoo, exactly. Tattoo. I'm going to say it. Weird little guy.
Hey, I mean, I don't think he had any other option in life than to lean into being weird little guy.
He really was.
He was in a James Bond movie. What was his name in James Bond?
I don't know.
It does also, it's kind of sound like Tattoo as well. Anyway, let's go. Tell me about it.
So you've watched the original?
Yes.
Or at least some of it.
So wait, hold on a second. You said, so there was a remake of this.
There was a remake of it in the
idea.
90s starring Malcolm McDowell as the main guy on the island.
Who played Tattoo?
There was
Peter
no
Dinklage.
tattoo. No. There was no tattoo on the remake. There was two other guys of normal height. No. Let me rephrase that. Of average height.
No.
Yeah. And it's very funny because I actually watched the beginning of that first episode because I read about it, so I wanted to see it, where it starts with one of the guys ringing the bell and going, the plane. And Malcolm McDowell's character, who is, I think, Mr. Rourke still, says, don't do that again.
Really?
And that's it. That's the last time we have the ringing of the bell and the plane.
All right.
But it was a fixture in the original series, which it's such a cool concept, actually. I mean, it is it's what it says on the tin. It's an island where you go and your fantasies become reality. But there's often a twist.
Like fantasies like weird sex things or like...
Well, let me give you some background to how this show came about. Because it was created by Aaron Spelling, who also did The Love Boat, and they used to play one after the other on American TV.
And Beverly Hills 90210.
Lots of things.
Yeah.
But this was, in a way, so similar to The Love Boat.
Yeah.
And they used to play one after the other on TV in America, I think on a Sunday.
And there was a crossover episode, isn't it?
Yes.
They went to The Love Boat, yes, there was a crossover.
Lots of crossover things. Yeah. So from the Wikipedia page, I found this quite funny. Executive producer Aaron Spelling admitted the original pitch for Fantasy Island was a joke. Spelling said he and production partner Leonard Goldberg were pitching ideas to ABC executive Brandon Stoddard. After the executive rejected all of their plans, at least 6 in all, Spelling blurted out, "What do you want? An island that people can go to and all of their sexual fantasies will be realized?" Stoddard loved the idea. Of course, kind of like, not late at night ETV on a Friday, they had to not make it about sexual fantasies.
Okay.
It's just about general fantasies. I mean, some of them, of course, involve the episode I watched. I just picked a random episode from YouTube because the majority of the show actually takes place in the 80s. In the late 70s, there were 2 made-for-TV movies, and then I think season 1 and half of season 2. But the majority, because there's 7 seasons of this original show, are in the 80s. So I just randomly picked something from, I think, season 3 to watch. And the one fantasy, so there's 2 storylines per episode. And the one fantasy was a couple who had just got married. They were madly in love with each other, completely besotted. So they wanted to go to the island to find the answer to eternal life. They never wanted to die. They wanted to stay young and be together forever. And then the other one was a lady who was obsessed with this actor.
Okay.
Who did James Bond type movies. And she wanted to meet him and go on a date with him. That was very basic, very simple. So funny. This shows, all the things that are absolutely would not fly today. Men just grabbing women and kissing them. At one point, the man grabs a woman and yanks her along, just completely against her will. He grabs her and pulls her along. It's so funny. It's a very cute show though. So I don't want to give away the whole story in case you want to watch it, but basically there's always a little bit of a twist. So for example, the couple who wanted to live forever, they got put into a situation where they almost died. Both of them. And it made them realize that they must actually just enjoy their lives while they're alive, and they don't have to live forever. And so they
because
like, okay, we'll
exactly, because everyone like they wanted to come to this island for the most depraved, in quotation marks, and then learn a lesson. And we've actually got everything we want. Our lives away from this is actually our fantasy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. So so there's often a lesson and a little bit of a moral. A lot of the episodes, from what I read, were quite dark.
Okay.
Like there was also a bit of darkness to them. The main guy who owned the island, ran the island, he also was a little bit sci-fi-ish, had powers and stuff like that. He definitely had a bit of an evil streak to him. He even used to like look into the camera and give that like evil eye kind of thing. They're coming here for this, but they will be surprised.
Oh yeah,
kind of
one of those.
Yeah.
I'm going to show them my wang.
Not that. Very cool show, though. And yes, there have been multiple remakes. There was also another remake in 2020.
And I see there was a film.
There's been a couple of films. So there were the made-for-TV movies in the 70s, but I think there has been a film in the 2000s. And yes, they remade it in, I think, 2020, somewhere around there. It didn't last very long. People didn't really...
No, I mean...
go for it.
Remember Fantasy Island, love Fantasy Island. Of course, the first reference I'll talk about is the plane. I'm not going to miss the section without talking a little bit about that actor. It's obviously Hervé Villachez.
Yes,
that's
talk
who
about
played
him.
the actor. I remember watching a documentary about him, actually, that he was like kind of like played off as this gimmick and people, when I said he was in a James Bond movie, would have been going crazy, shouting the name at their whatever they're listening at this on. In James Bond, he played Francisco Scaramanga. That's who he played.
Which James Bond movie was it?
He was in The Man with the Golden Gun.
Roger Moore, the best James Bond.
Yes, the best James Bond. And he was actually in James Bond before he was in Fantasy Island.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Obviously known for his shout of his deplane, but he committed suicide in 1993. That's quite sad. His mother was an Anglo-Italian socialite who was an ambulance driver during World War II, and father was a surgeon. They were born in Nazi-occupied Paris. 4 siblings. He was the only one born with his condition. Yeah, became a big star. He was an artist, bohemian, lived a bohemian lifestyle in New York. I'd love to know what people were doing with a man of his size in New York at that time. But the mind can wander and take it straight to Fantasy Island. Indeed. So great shout, Dori. Great shout.
Yeah.
Love it. Fantasy Island, deplane.
Z-plane.
It's deplane. Is it Z-plane or deplane?
I'm actually not sure.
Deplane. Scaramanga. It's the Scaramanga.
Anyway, so many episodes on YouTube. Go wild.
Indeed. Quality? How's the quality of them? Good. Been remastered?
Square?
Yes.
Square, lot black bars on the side. VHS quality.
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
Only way to do it. I changed my movie this week. Last minute change, because the movie I had just wasn't for me. It was I wasn't into it. And I uncovered a whole catalog and I'm actually going to dive into this actor's movies for a couple of weeks now, because this actor made a lot of shit movies.
Dukakis? Michael Dukakis? What? Not Dukakis.
What?
Michael Dudikoff.
Sorry.
First thing that came to mind, I couldn't think of his name. Michael Dudikoff.
You,
Am I right?
We've done the show many years. I would never dream of doing the show with anyone but you. But you take Michael Dudikoff's name out your mouth. I'll send you to the Grammys with a house on your head, because that's how unstable I've become. Okay. No, not Michael Dudikoff. Certainly not Michael Dukakis. Certainly not. What is his wife's name? Olivia Dukakis. Or Olympia. She was an actress. Were they related?
What? His mother?
I don't know.
She was old in the 80s.
Michael Dukakis was involved with Bill Clinton. He was his vice president, wasn't he?
Yes.
And then Olympia Dukakis was
an actress.
An actress.
From Still Magnolias.
She were they not related?
They could have been. Aren't all the Greek people related?
Look, it's not a thing I want to pick at, but this is not a section called is it Michael Dudikoff or Michael Dukakis? Which would actually be a fantastic fight.
Dudikoff versus Dukakis.
Yes.
I think we should make it.
I like it. I like it. Instead, I got a movie that stars Christopher Lloyd.
Oh.
And listen, Christopher Lloyd started making, was in TV shows in the 60s, movies in the 70s. Of course, we know him as Doc Brown. And this is made after Back to the Future. So this is not like one of the movies that he had to make. He knew he's done Back to the Future.
Had he done 1 and 2?
2 was coming up. He knew he's going to do 2 because they just knew. So he's like...
So he hadn't yet done The Disaster That Is 3.
No. Which, again, in context, watch them all together. I don't like Western stuff. As a story, well wrapped up is what it is. So this is not a movie that he had to do. It wasn't a comeback thing. It wasn't a do you remember? He was the guy. But you got to love it when he said that of all the movies he's ever done, this was the one he was most embarrassed by.
Ooh.
Now, he played a gangster in a movie with the guy who was the Highlander, which looked like a piece in the 90s, which looks like a piece of shit.
Okay.
What is that guy's name?
Christopher Lloyd?
Christopher Lloyd, yeah. I think so.
Something like
No.
Christopher Lambert.
Christopher Lambert. He's the what are we talking about?
Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lambert. They did a movie together where he tries to be a tough gangster. He regrets this movie more. Now, because in the 80s, we had a lot of fish out of water movies, right?
Yes.
Huge thing in the 80s. Coming to America, it was just the thing. There were also a lot of body swap movies. But we had fish out of water movies. We never had a dog out of water movies. Okay, dog out of kennel movies.
Okay.
So there was an actor in the 80s. We know him as a judge now on America's Got Talent, Howie Mandel.
Oh, yes.
Who, for some reason in the 80s, they were trying to shove him down our throats on everything. He was
around.
And I discovered a lot of his movies. I went, wow, that guy made bad movies. Now, I think in the 80s I did like him because he was very cartoony.
He was kind of Pauly Shore before Pauly Shore.
He was.
Yeah.
That's a great, because you know what? When you go to IMDb and they give you like similar, a lot of Pauly Shore movies show up after him. So you and IMDb, the algorithms in your brain. He was the voice of Gizmo.
Yep.
He made the little Gurgles and that's him.
He used to do very cool voices.
He did a lot of animated voices.
Yeah.
I think there was another one in the 90s, Rocco's Modern Life or something. I think he was one of the Rugrats. I don't know. But he did a lot of
voice things, yeah.
And he was quite cartoony in the way he was. He had a kids show. He had a TV show on kids, a kids TV show. He had that. But of course they'd go, okay, there must have been something about him that they're trying to get in. And he had a lot of movies. And they're not putting him with shit actors because they kind of go, okay, we're going to put you with Christopher Lloyd. Another movie I got up next week, he's with Ted Danson. So they're not putting him with shit people.
Okay.
So in this movie, we are in Alaska on a family holiday. This is where we start. You can see it's quite a well-off family in Alaska. And the young son, who's obviously the young Howie Mandel, goes missing. 2 years old, he wanders off.
Is this not a comedy?
It's a comedy.
It's a comedy.
It's not funny, but it's a comedy.
Okay.
He wanders off. And the dad now goes in search of him. Now, we come to realize later that the older brother actually let him wander off for his own reasons. Again, comedy. And
not getting that so far, but
no.
Okay, yeah.
And the son wanders off. The father goes out looking for him and actually dies in the Alaskan.
Ooh.
Man with all the equipment dies.
Sure.
So now we fast forward to 20 years later, and there is a woman in the same area, and she is doing research on animals in the area. And here comes a man who has been raised by wolves.
So they never found the kid.
Never found the kid. Sorry.
Right.
They assumed the kid was dead. Father died. They found a man. Well, not found a man. The woman who, she's in Alaska. I've never been to Alaska, but cold. Can assume.
We can assume.
Obviously, she lies in her tent in as little clothing as she can possibly put on. And being the 80s, this wolf man, Howie Mandel, introduces himself to her, but of course being very suggestive and forcing himself on her, sniffing her legs, sniffing her butts. No,
he's not just going,
No, he thinks he's a wolf.
Oh.
Okay, so he wanders into her tent as a wolf on all fours and sniffs her butt.
Is he wearing fur?
Well, here's the thing, Dori. There's a lot of things going on here. So yes, I must explain to you now. Obviously, his hair is very long. Now, Harry Mandel had curly hair, so he's got like the equivalent curly hair.
Did he have facial hair?
A huge beard.
Right.
Huge beard. No body hair, okay? But he's been raised by wolves. Now, firstly, the thing is, I don't want to be a dick. If a pack of wolves are going to find you in Alaska, a toddler,
they're going to eat you.
They're going to eat you. They're not going to raise you, okay?
No.
Secondly, if you do avoid that, it's very cold.
Yeah.
Your father, who had all the equipment on, he died looking for you. You don't, you survive. So now you're a man, because, I mean, wolves have they're wolves.
Yeah.
They got things. They got coats. Have you seen their coats? Big coats. And he's got no clothes on, but he does wear a loincloth. So he goes, I think I'm a wolf, but I'm aware that my balls are dangling. You know what I mean? Now, I understand it's done for censorship, but
I understand. Yeah, I mean,
these things bother you when you
Yes.
think about it. That's why it's best not to think about it.
Yes.
Anyway,
I'm trying to imagine him sniffing her butt still. I'm like,
Yeah, I know.
kind of stuck on that.
yeah, that's him. That's not the first butt he sniffs. He kind of like, this is all he knows.
Right.
You meet a person, you sniff their butt. So she goes, this is fantastic. Discovery, who's this? Oh, she takes him back.
Who is she played by? Do we know her?
She is played by an actress. It's not somebody I recognize, but you always recognize the weirdest people. Blonde lady. She's a blonde lady.
A blonde lady,
She's a
okay.
blonde lady. And she's probably this massive actress, but anyway, she's a blonde lady. So she decides, no, I've got to take him back. And then they figure out that he's this missing kid and whatever, and she approaches the family. Right? Now, Christopher Lloyd is his brother, plays the role of his brother.
Okay.
And the dad was rich family. Dad passed away, left him all the money, and he's blown all the money that he's now had to move back in with his mother. His mother's like not well because since she lost her son, she's never been
Son and husband.
herself again. And her husband, she's traumatized. She's just like really in like
Such a comedy.
Yeah. And he's now living with her, obviously manipulating her, and he's like now waiting for her to die. But of course, when Howie Mandel shows up, he goes, hold on a second. He's been left $30 million, right? He's still in the will. So if I can get him to sign over his money to me, then I'm cool again. I'm rich again. But I got to go with this lady who's now an expert in animals, who's now going to teach him to be a human.
Right.
So I said, okay, I'll help you teach him how to integrate into society and talk, and most importantly, write, so he can sign over his money to me.
Right. Because he has no idea what money is.
No idea. He doesn't know what's going on. Sniffing people's asses.
Yeah.
So, of course, we have like then shenanigans, all the things you'd expect of when you have a dog out of water and he's going to run over wet cement. He's going to chase fire trucks. He's going to sniff people's butts. He's going to chew things. He's going to jump up on things. I don't remember him pooping anywhere, but it was probably suggested.
I mean,
all those
no
things,
toilets in the Alaskan wilderness.
You know what? All those things are happening, right? But slowly, he's starting to become more human. And he gets a haircut, he gets a bit of a glow up, gets a bit of a shave, wears human clothes. And I gotta admit, my wife and I were laughing now at the point now where she's trying to teach him to walk upright. And they've got this like little treadmill.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Howie Mandel.
Physical comedy. Yeah.
I have to admit, I'll put this clip that 80 show say Facebook. And this is where probably the name of the movie is a great place to drop it. It's called Walk Like a Man.
Okay. I've never seen it, never even heard of it.
I'll tell you something about it.
Is it on Plex?
I didn't look. It is on YouTube, so I assume it would be on Plex. If you do not like the Richie Valens song Walk Like a Man from this, do not watch this movie because it's the only song
played multiple times throughout.
Constantly. It's the only song they could afford. I have to admit that part was very, very funny, like of where he's...
I will skim through to find that bit.
There's parts of it where you kind of go, fuck, that is kind of, that is funny. So what happens is now she's trying to teach him to be a man. And of course what happens, because the 80s, and she's obviously a very educated woman.
They fall in love.
She falls in love with a fucking dog man. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like really.
Of course they do.
You are such an intelligent lady because of what you do.
Because he sniffed her butt.
You know what? That's it. But she starts to discover the human side of him. So even though he's been raised by wolves, he's very kind. He gives like a little girl a toy toy. And there's this part where they go to the mall and he keeps walking out of stuff. It's a running gag. It's quite funny because he doesn't understand the concept. He's just, I'm a dog. I'm a fucking dog. Anyway, very clever woman falls in love with the dog. You got to ask what's her motivations, but like you say, don't yuck on people's yums. And she starts figuring out Christopher Lloyd's plan.
Right.
So then there is a whole weird thing that they end up in court now. Because now Christopher Lloyd's got to prove, so she won't let him sign over his money. Oh, there's another very cute part where they're now trying to teach him, and the mom, who's kind of been like not with it for a few years, is now learning with him. And it's like there's a sweet moment in that they're kind of like becoming themselves again.
Yes.
Together. It's quite sweet. Anyway, they end up in court because she figures out she's not going to let him sign anything over. And now he goes to court to try prove that Howie Mandel's character is not mentally fit to inherit the money anyway, and he must give it to him. Christopher Lloyd, of course, loses it and goes, well, look how he behaves. And he starts behaving like a dog and biting everything and chasing people and barking at everyone. And they go, well, you're fucking obviously crazy. That guy's standing upright. Yeah. He's only sniffed one butt. You've peed in the corner. He gets all the money. You're going to be locked away.
All right.
Walk out. Everyone's victorious. There's people waiting outside the court because obviously this becomes a big thing. And then
the news.
Dr. Lady and Dog Lady kiss and they fall in love. Probably do it doggy style, but it's for the late night version. I don't know.
It sounds watchable.
No, no.
No?
No. When Christopher Lloyd says it's the movie I'm most embarrassed by, and I just don't think Howie Mandel feels shame. So
I'm curious though to see certain scenes. So put some scenes on our Facebook page and I'll watch those.
I will do Walk Like a Man.
Now I've got that song in my head. Thanks.
You will. You will. I love the tagline. What does a $30 million inheritance mean to a guy who thinks he's a dog? It means his brother Reggie wants him to roll over and play dead. That's
very long.
It's not. Can you imagine the poster? You
could have got away with roll over and play dead.
I mean,
see, it's the editor in me. I can't stop.
That's the thing.
I can't help myself.
And actually, looking at the movie poster here, it's very long. They have a little squiz there. It takes up the whole top corner of.
And it's the size of the text is too small. No, that's too long.
No,
that should have been edited.
This whole thing's off because they actually had to wait because the image of the actors is not straight. It's at an angle, so they could put that at an
disaster whole design.
This whole thing's a mess. Anyway, that is Walk Like a Man. You did something fun.
I did
a little while ago.
Yeah.
We were rating 80s hotties. We found
there was an article. Yes. Yeah.
Found a Gen Z or a guy kind of our age, and he asked his teenager to rate the guys who were hot in the 80s.
The heartthrobs of the 80s.
The heartthrobs of the 80s. And we found it quite entertaining and thought, hey, we have teens.
Yeah.
Let's ask them. And you did it.
I did.
You spoke to your kid, Paulo, who you rated, and we're going to go through it. And I'm going to want to pause at certain points and interject.
Yes.
The photos that you used.
Yes.
Were they the same in the article, or did you find other ones?
Oh, no, I found others. I have them. Okay. I can show them to you as we go if you'd like.
No, I mean, maybe I'll ask you at certain points, but I'm going to imagine the character, the actors we're going to talk about, people will know, but more generically, think of them knowing you.
If you Google their name, it's going to be the best photo on that first page of Google image results.
Okay,
basically.
Cool. All right.
But I'll show them to you as we go so that you can,
Visualize. Right. So here is, there are some really funny comments in here, and I really want to give them the airtime, and I really want to comment on them because I have to comment on shit. Here is Paulo rating 80s heartthrobs.
With my 17-year-old, Paulo, and we're doing the heartthrob test. I picked people who I thought were really hot in the 80s, and we're going to see what the 17-year-old of today might say about these people. Let's start with someone you probably will recognize, but we're going to do it anyway. Do you recognize him?
It's that guy from the show Unstable, the main guy.
Yes, Rob Lowe. It's Rob Lowe.
Oh my God, the mullet. I wish I looked like him.
But would you have had posters of him on your wall? I mean, would you have posters of him on your wall?
it's weird to have a poster of a person at all. I have no people on my wall.
That's all I had on my wall when I was a teenager.
But wouldn't it feel like they're watching you?
Do you think he's beautiful?
I think I would draw him.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I love that concept of like, why would you have...
No, because let me tell you what Arno has on the wall in the bedroom. A Donnie Darko poster.
Yeah.
A poster of, like it says Japan, and it's like a Japanese wilderness. Nice. TV Girl,
yes.
Their favorite band. So those posters are not of people. They're kind of very arty.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just drawings. Like
because
just drawings of like Garfield and things like that. Yeah,
because they feel like they're watching you and you go,
posters
that's
of
the point.
Heartthrobs at all, not one.
That's the point. Kids of today.
So was that a very 80s thing? Putting, I suppose, also because of the magazine culture. You see,
that was it.
That was it. We had the magazines. We had the centerfolds.
Yeah,
we put them up.
Yeah. So that's Rob Lowe.
Yes.
Let's go on to the next one.
You see the beauty.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Especially the jawline and the hair.
Right. Okay. Next, speaking of jawline and hair, not sure if you're going to recognize...
Oh my God.
That doesn't look like a favorable response. By the way, we are looking at a picture of Morten Harket from the band Aha. Remember? Take On Me?
I know what Aha is. Oh my... I think it's the bracelets that are throwing me off.
There are many bracelets.
They look like rubber bands.
They're leather things. Leather bracelets were a big thing in the 80s and 90s.
Also, the way that his armpit hair is lighter than his rest of his hair. I don't know.
You know, I had 50 posters of him on my wall as a teenager. 50.
That's like mentally ill behavior.
Oh, sorry.
Not my type.
Not your type, eh?
I wouldn't have drawn him or had posters of him.
Morten is a fail.
The armpit hair jumped out of me straight away because in that picture he's got his hands kind of behind his head. He's wearing a vest.
Yeah.
I feel today he would have waxed. There wouldn't be armpit hair. It would be removed.
I mean, I honestly didn't even notice it until it was pointed out that the armpit hair is a different color to the hair on his head. But I just wouldn't have noticed that. I was looking at his beautiful face.
Yeah.
And his beautiful eyes.
There's
his
a
beautiful jawbone.
There's a lot of armpit there. I think
we're going to put all these pictures up on that 80 show on Facebook.
Yes. I think a different photo of Morten, because I think you're looking
think I used the wrong one,
straight into the armpits.
I kind of like this picture. I had this poster on my wall.
Don't yuck on one's yum.
Yeah. Next, we're going to go to Andrew McCarthy.
He looks like such a nerd.
Well,
agreed.
I don't know if you've definitely seen movies with him in. He was in Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, I know who he is. I like his eyes, but the rest of his face is very... It's very...
soft?
Nerdish.
Is nerdish not attractive?
It is in some people.
Okay. Next.
Who is this?
This is Denzel Washington.
Oh my God, how did I not recognize him?
Because he looked different when he was younger. I think he looks better now.
He looks so much better now.
Yeah, he does look better now.
Why does he look so scary?
Not everyone looked great in the 80s. So this is a picture of Denzel Washington from the show Saint Elsewhere. So he's wearing a doctor's white coat and he's got a stethoscope around his neck.
And he looks a bit squint.
He doesn't look great. I have to say he does look better now.
I've seen recent pictures of him and he looks much, much more handsome.
So we didn't know how he was going to blossom.
Okay.
But he was already a heartthrob in the 80s.
No, but 80s Denzel Washington, like 5 out of 10. Now Denzel Washington, like 8 or 9 out of 10.
Okay, cool.
I think that's a good comment because you always just think of Denzel Washington as being handsome.
Yeah.
But then you're like, oh, no, wait. It was a bit of an awkward face.
But in Glory, he looked amazing. He was bald in Glory.
Do you know what I think? It's his voice.
Maybe that's it.
I think once he starts talking, you can kind of, I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. He's still like
he's
looking.
Aged exceptionally well.
You seen what he looks like in Gladiator? The new Gladiator?
No, I haven't seen.
It looks phenomenal. I think once you chuck in the voice with that, you got a winner.
Yeah. You're not going to recognize this person. There was a band in the 80s called DeBarge. It was a family.
Okay.
This is the main guy. His name was El DeBarge.
He's so beautiful.
Yes, he was extremely
And he's got
beautiful.
such nice teeth.
He has nice teeth. He has a mullet of note.
Oh my Lord.
We're going to watch the music video just now so you can really appreciate it. Because this is actually a screenshot from the music video from one of their big hits, which you'll know when you hear it.
He's very
Yes,
beautiful.
He is very beautiful. I remember having some posters of him as well.
Good shout for Aldebage. I did not see that coming.
Oh, yeah.
You a big fan?
I mean, I liked the band, but I loved him.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful.
He is beautiful.
Big shout, yeah.
I have no idea what he looks like now. I don't want to know. I don't want to ruin the memory.
No, I'll find that. I'll send it to you.
Oh, thanks. Thanks. That's it for the boys section.
Okay, wait, let me rate them from 1 to 5, like the most attractive.
Okay, should I open them all
No,
again?
I can see the... Okay. So, in the least attractive is... What's his name?
Andrew McCarthy. Andrew McCarthy's on the bottom of the list.
Then probably 1980s Denzel Washington.
Okay.
Now he would be much higher, but
Yes.
then what's
Morten Harket from Aha.
Ooh, okay.
Then it's between Rob Lowe and El DeBarge.
Can I see Rob Lowe again?
Right. I'm gonna put them next to
Oh,
each
they're
other
both
for
so
you.
beautiful and they both have mullets.
Everyone had a mullet in the 80s.
Like, Rob Lowe has prettier eyes, but this guy just has like such a pretty face. Can they tie for number 1?
They can tie for number 1. Alrighty.
Alright.
So now we're going to move on to the women.
Okay. Oh, I really like her makeup.
So
this?
we're looking at Samantha Fox. She was known for her big boobs.
I can see her cleavage in the photo.
She has incredible cleavage in the photo, but I mean, I haven't shown you the actual scope of her boobs because they were...
That would be weird.
Yes, they were giant. But I always thought she had a really pretty face.
Her hair in this picture looks like mine when I wake up.
It's very 80s wispy hair.
That's literally what my hair looks like when I wake up.
I know. So yeah. So I always thought she was very pretty. People noticed her boobs, but I always noticed her face.
No, she's very pretty. She's got the very like sharp cheekbones I like.
I think it might be the makeup as well, but yes.
Well, good makeup.
Okay. Let's go to Sade.
Make the picture bigger.
Who is also a singer.
Wow, she's very pretty. She's
beautiful.
She looks like a princess.
Okay, she does, I suppose. So this is your typical picture of Sade. She's got the long hair, it's tied up.
Yeah.
And like tied up, quite tightly. Her big hoop earrings. But yes.
Also, her
beautiful
eyeliner, very nice.
Yes. Okay, so that's Sade.
Paulo appreciates good makeup.
Yes, Paulo loves makeup.
Evidently that. I want to throw a concept at you.
Okay.
You get these AI things where you can take 2 pictures of people and see what their baby would look like.
Yes.
Sade and Aldebage's child.
Ooh.
What would that child look like? Sometimes
genetics screws you. And 2 beautiful people make a funny looking child.
80s Denzel Washington. Maybe that's what you're dealing with there. I mean, case in point, Jaden Smith. Good looking parents. Wears a house on his head. You know what you're going to do.
And then we've got, this is one of Paulo's favorites.
She's very pretty. Who's she?
Phoebe Cates. One of Paulo's favorites.
Also, such nice teeth.
Yeah. Very pretty.
And such nice eyes.
And you know what? Well done to you, Dori.
For not showing the scene from that movie. Because I know that's what you're thinking.
Because that would have really skewed the results. So I think you were very scientific. We can't, muddy the waters.
And show the famous picture of Phoebe Cates.
Because if you're showing that winner, chicken dinner. What was it? First time at Ridgemont High?
Yes, first times at Ridgemont High.
And what was the other one where she was riding the kid's toy very suggestively? She's sitting on the rocking horse at the supermarket. Remember, she's had those toys you put the coins in the kids. There's another movie. I think her next movie, she's riding that very suggestively. So well done for keeping the survey.
Keeping it family friendly.
No, well done, Dori. Well done for not skewing the results.
Janet Jackson.
Okay, well, I've seen Janet Jackson before, and she looks scarily like Michael Jackson.
Well, like how Michael Jackson looked in the 80s at least.
Yeah. She is obviously very pretty. Also, I really like the outfit she's wearing. Absolutely slaying.
Mm-hmm.
The hair is in a triangular shape at the top.
She has big hair. Yes.
Very nice.
And then this was my favorite in the 80s. Meg Ryan.
Oh, she's very pretty. Also, nice teeth again.
Very nice teeth.
Yeah. Oh, all the women are so pretty. How are you gonna
choose?
Okay, they're all number one.
Okay, all of them.
Yeah. And then rating every single person. Number one place is every single woman. Number two place is
Aldebage
and
Rob Lowe.
Yeah, and then the
rest follow insignificantly.
Yeah, I might be a little biased.
Okay,
but
thank you for the research.
Yes, my very intellectual seeings.
Thank you, Dori, and thank you, Arlo. Arlo is in matric this year. Very important time. Lots of studying.
Yes,
but I feel that was educational.
It was really fun, and they even said, I'd like to do more like this.
Oh.
So we might be doing more research going forward.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure you'll have no problem finding the source material for that research.
Well, I need to still get certain 80s movies seen. Like they're on the list.
Okay.
And then we'll maybe get some reviews.
That's an interesting concept because by showing the movie, you have an affinity to them opposed to just seeing a photo.
Yeah. Well, Arlo loves Breakfast Club.
Okay.
Loves it, seen it more than once. I'm trying to think. Oh, Beetlejuice, huge favorite. Yes. I'm trying to think of other 80s favorite movies.
Okay. I'd really like to throw in the next survey a different Morten Harket picture.
Okay.
I feel he could have ranked a lot higher if we weren't Brad Pitting it over there.
Okay.
No.
All right. I will go home and try a different Morten Harket picture.
Yeah, I think that could swing results. And this has been that 80s show. And I just want to finish off with a story about an 80s heartthrob that I have to tell you now because I've been holding it since the beginning of the year, and it's a December story.
Okay.
The Grinch, played by Jim Carrey.
Right.
Right? Perfect Grinch, you'd say.
Yes.
I mean, I couldn't think of anyone else playing the Grinch because it's just the way Jim Carrey acts. Do you know who was originally in the running to be the Grinch? John Stamos.
What?
Right. John Stamos, he was on a podcast just over Christmas talking about it. And he had gone through early screen tests. He had done a lot of stuff, but he couldn't take the role. He's allergic to the makeup. And he just couldn't do it.
Goodness.
Right? And Jim Carrey apparently was also allergic to the makeup, but he could bear it.
He soldiered on.
Why the fuck would you hire John Stamos behind that? I just can't imagine him doing it.
That's a political thing. Someone knows someone's cousin.
No, someone at the studio said, rub some shit in that. We're not fucking hiding that face.
Yeah.
We're not hiding that.
Ridiculous.
Listen, I don't think he could have been the Grinch. It's such a Jim Carrey thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, John Stamos not nearly as famous, eh?
It could have been his big break. No, it wouldn't. It would have ruined him.
Yeah.
I saw him on a roast. They did a roast of 2024, and he was the band master playing drums.
Yeah.
Fucking John Stamos. Show John Stamos next time.
I didn't even think of him.
That in the survey.
I actually will.
No.
I will. I'll report back.
Everything you heard on that show and this show and other shows found on that 80 show to say on Facebook. In 2 seconds, favorite thing you learned in the show today, Dori?
Oh my God, I can't think. Literally can't think. What? The ad thing.
Yay!
That you see Paul Slavelepsy at gym.
Yay for 80s ads. Thanks for joining me, Dori. Goodbye.
Bye.